Okay, guys, so here we are, Wusik DLooper. This is the beta version, and everything is pretty much working. I haven't done the sequencing part yet, but everything else is working. So we're going to start the beta testing. So in this video, I'm going to do a quick rundown on how to use it. So the first time you load, there's nothing loaded on the file name. You can click here and select to load audio. So you can load a ACID WAV file or an, I don't know how to call the reflex RE recycle, I think is the name from propeller heads. And it loads several types of files. The recycle, the ACID WAV, Apple loops, and stuff like that. And there's also programs that you can, oops, I click it, save instead. You can also check some programs that are created just for testing. So let's say here I have my simple loop constructor one. I can click and it's going to load. You can see it has loaded that there already. So it's just an ACID WAV file. You can see here I'm loading from something like dancing. And it's using my host tempo, which is 120 bits per minute on this standalone version. But you can change here the tempo if you want. The lowest is going to be the host one. And let me close it and open again, just so you have an idea what it is to start up with the program. So you start with a blank slate, and if I go here and load an audio, I can also right click to open the load audio option. And perimeter sounds, they were nice enough to include some samples for us. So I advise to visit the site perimetersound.com, but they offered all the demonstration samples from all the packages they sell. So at least we have something to start with. So on this download for the beta, already included all these demonstrations. And the ones that have beats are the biomechanic beats. So I'm going to open it. There's the demonstration files. Those you can ignore for now, unless you want to check what other sounds come with the full package and can buy from the perimetersound.com site. And be nice to them and buy from them more package, because they're very, very good. I've been using for more than 10 years, I think, and it's really great. So I'm going to go to the free loops, and here I have my audio wave files here. So let's say I'm going to load this pipeline. To stop the audio here, just click on play to stop. You can see that it's set to autoplay, to auto sync, to loop. Use the pitch selected here on my screen there. I just select that before I open this page. And it's going to use also the effect I have put it in there. So since it's autoplay, I just click and I can use up and down to select another sound. I click on play to stop. So okay, this is the sound I want. I can double click or just click open. And it's going to stretch the sound to my local tempo from 105 to 120. That's my host tempo, but I want to change it. I want to use 132 instead. So I just change to 132. I'll wait. It's going to show a message there. You can see it shows a message. Audio will be processed in a second, because it's going to wait a bit process, so it doesn't process for every single change you do, because you can also change the pitch or the number of beats. Let's say you didn't detect the number of beats correctly, or this is not a file that has the number of beats. I have to put manually. But let me play this. I can click here on the stretch and select off, and it's going to play the original file. And I have other modes too. The first mode is a pure stretching code. So it's going to try to stretch the whole file using some complex math. And mode numbers 2, 3, and 4 is just going to slice the file into several other subsections. But the advantage of these other 3 modes is going to be that the file size mode 1 doesn't always get the file to the right size, so sometimes you have to manually adjust the markers. Those are not slices per se, they are more like markers because here I'm loading the whole file. So let's say I'm going to leave as mode 1. Okay, I click play. It's going to play at 122 bits per minute. And there's also some math behind this that I check for the file size. So if it's missing a sample or half a sample, because that exists in internal math calculation, in real life, half a sample doesn't exist. It's always 1, 1, 1, 1. And but let's say let's say we are playing like for 1 minute the loop, and if it's missing half a sample, it's going to start to deviate and not be in sync again. So there's some math internally to make it always stay in sync. It should be working. I haven't retested for 1 minute, but it should be working. And if I go on my MIDI keyboard and I press the middle C and release, it's going to play as long as I keep the notes down. And anything above or below is going to change the pitch, but it's also going to make it faster or slower. If you want to change the pitch without changing the speed of the audio, you can use the pitch in here instead. Oops, I forgot it. It remembers the last note I played. So middle C. Okay, middle C. So it kind of works. It's not the best thing, but it kind of works. It changes sometimes a bit the size of the file, but at least you have some option of change a bit the pitch. Modes 2, 3, and 4 doesn't have the pitch, so if you hover the mouse over pitch, it should give you a tooltip. I don't know, it's not giving. It was working. Yeah, there is. We're only on mode 1. So okay, this is the basics of the thing. You have the reverse. You can change the size of the loop. So let's say I put 0.5. That's 50%. Just that, it's not nothing fancy. You can change the position if you want to do some other things. The effects is just like Wusik ZR. You can use VST effects in here, and it comes with the same effects as Wusik ZR. Reverse is reverse, and loop is going to loop the entire thing. And there are other 2 things in here. If you right-click, playback, you can make the pitch fixed, so any note you play is going to be the middle C. And you can also disable play whole file with each key. If you disable this, each note from the middle C, so middle C is the first section marked from this part to this part. The next note is C sharp. It's going to be this section in here, and then this section, and then this section. So C, C sharp, D, D sharp. So it just goes like that, starting from the C, middle C, and going up. I'm going to write a manual and explain all that soon. I'm also going to make this area get colored when you are playing from the section instead of playing the whole file, just so you know where you are. And if you hit play now, you're just going to always play this first section. So let me remove that, play whole file again. So that's it. And you can also use pitch bend to change the pitch and stuff like that. But what are the markers for? Well, the markers are going to divide a number of the samples. You can call it slices too, but I'm using markers because that's what they are doing, just adding markers. You can remove all the markers, leaving just one. You can add extra markers in here. Just right click, other marker here. If you click on a marker, it's going to zoom in and allow you to adjust the marker to the very start of that section. Or you can use the middle button for that, or Control and left click. It's also going to do that. We can adjust. I'm not using auto snapping. I saw some DAWs that does that, but it's very hard to get this working very correctly. So for now, it's really manually. Unless you load a recycle file that has already the markers on the right place. So, okay, what you can do with the markers? You can select not to play as a whole file, then you can use the markers on the MIDI keyboard. Or you can also use the envelopes here. So let's say I'm going to put the envelope here, a very low sustain, 0, and I'm going to play this. So you can see that each marker is going to activate the envelope. So you can get some very interesting effects with that. There's also the filter. There's a dual filter with an option of serial or parallel. And let me use the filter with notch. And I'm going to use the free mode, which is not going to be activated by the markers. It's just going to be running free. So let's see how that works out. The notch doesn't really, it's hard to listen, but let's use the band pad instead. So it's going to activate the envelope, start, reset and start on the very first start when you play a note on the keyboard or hit play, and then it's going to loop without restarting on any marker. I'm just using the MIDI keyboard to start and restart. But I want to use also, let's say I'm going to put a low pass filter in here, and I'm going to run in parallel, so serial is not selected. So you can get some very interesting effects with that alone, using the Amplitude Envelope, the filter envelope, the filters and the markers in here. Let me put another marker in here. And this is also gets saved with your project file if you're using on a host, or you can just click here and select Save Program. Let's call this filtered loop, and that's it. If you go now on the browse programs, there should be there filtered loop. It points to the file, so you must keep all your samples on the same folder. But in this case, it's relative to the Wusik DLooper engine, Wusik engine data / Wusik DLooper / samples folder. So it doesn't matter if you move that folder because it's relative to that, so it's okay. The next step now is the sequencer, which I haven't coded yet, but I'm going to be doing this week. And the sequencer are going to allow you to, instead of using the MIDI keyboard to sequence the parts you want, so let's say here I disable the play hole and I use the sequencer, I can just use the sequencer So here I'm playing the MIDI keyboard, but instead the sequencer is going to allow you to put the sections one by one in any order you want, and have this played, looped without having to worry about anything else. And it's going to be very simple to use. So that's it. This is the DLooper. So I have created this small program in here. Let me enable my playhole file again. So let me try. I'm going to try and load another one in here. So let's try this one. I'm going to try mode 2 instead. And I'm going to adjust the markers a bit. Oh, they're pretty much correct. Let me try to add some, redo the bit markers, 4 per bit. I'm going to add a lot of those. found a bug here. This one is not working correctly. Well, I'm going to figure this out. Okay, it's not a big deal. So, well, you get an idea. You can do a lot of things from the menu here by right-clicking. There are a few things missing in here. There's no audio processing to the file itself, but the idea is that you're loading loops that are already done, so we're not creating anything in here. And I think that's it, at least for this video. The effects in here are not behaving correctly. I'm going to fix that. So okay, that's it for this, for the DLooper. Let me browse some programs just so you get an idea. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.